What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, and college football fans everywhere? Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the video. If you would at the end, like, comment, share the content that you're watching, however, wherever on social media, that would be awesome. And, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to tap that subscribe button down below. Razorbacks trying to pick the pieces up after their loss to Texas A&M a week ago. They got Alcorn State down in Little Rock. What are some of the positives and negatives that we've seen so far despite their loss against A&M? Overall in the year, where have they been good and where have they been bad? Let's start with the bad. Protecting Austin Allen. This guy, he's going to turn up looking like a hockey player by the end of the year with missing teeth if his offensive line doesn't figure out how to pass block. If they don't figure out how to keep this guy protected, they're going to lose Austin Allen, and that's going to be bad. An injured Austin Allen means a bowl game would maybe then be out of the question for the Razorbacks if you lose a guy. Again, you can't lose Allen. You just can't. And offensive line play has got to get better. It's got to improve. They're still trying to figure things out up front. They knew going in against A&M that they didn't have everything laid out like they wanted to on the offensive line. And A&M took advantage and was able to, I'll say this. Considering that they played the best defensive line in the SEC, they played okay in protecting Allen in the first two and a half quarters, but the second half, it was just they were done. They were done, and it was really too bad. It was like they weren't even blocking anybody in the fourth quarter, and Austin Allen was on his back like every play. So hopefully they get that figured out. If not, 6-6 might even be out of the question without Austin Allen. Another negative is it's only against teams that run, I feel like teams that run the no-huddle, the high-tempo spread offenses that are able to do this, and that's run the ball up the gut on Arkansas. If you're a halfway athletic quarterback, just run a draw right up the front. Spread your offense out, run a draw up the gut. If you don't hit the goalpost, you'll at least pick up 15, 20 yards. They have not been able to defend that. I don't know why. Halfback draw, running the ball up the gut, period. As far as again, with spread offenses, they've just been able to do it. I feel like, teams that run the power eye and, run something similar to what Arkansas does on offense, they can handle the run pretty well. But against teams that spread the ball out, it's been a problem. They need to fix it because look at what they still have left. Teams that have pretty athletic quarterbacks who run high tempo, and when they do run the ball, it's typically draw plays and things right up the gut. So they better figure out how to stop that, or it's going to be trouble. The only other negative, and I don't know if it's a complete negative because I feel like it was only a problem against Texas A&M, but red zone play calling against Texas A&M was terrible. It was awful, and I hope it's not a sign of things to come. A&M was obviously selling out on the run, and Arkansas kept running the football. I don't know if they just were. I don't know if it was Dan Enos being stubborn or Brett Bielema being stubborn. I don't know, but that Austin Allen was on fire. Why would you get away from the very thing? I feel like I said this on the last video, and I probably did, but why would you get away from the very thing that's worked the entire game in the red zone? Why would you stop? A&M secondary is not that great, which is if they do lose games, it's going to be the teams who can throw the football. Allen shredded that secondary, and you abandon the pass once you get inside the 10 or 15-yard line? You call 7 run plays in a row, and they go nowhere, and you wonder why. A&M wasn't even trying to defend the pass. It was almost like they expected Enos to just keep running the football. Not good, and I hope that doesn't become problematic for the Razorbacks coming for the rest of the season. They need to figure it out. For the most part, I feel like up until that game they had it figured out, but they just changed things up this time around against A&M, and it didn't work. Going into the positives, Austin Allen, he's Spartacus. He's Terminator. This guy is getting hit to the ground and still making plays. Great arm, pocket awareness, his pocket presence is really good. This guy has just got it all figured out. He's firing on all cylinders despite getting roughed up and thrown around. He's proven that he can compete with anybody, and that's a good thing for the Hogs, but they got to keep him healthy. Got to keep this guy healthy. Got to keep him going and keep him protected. Another area, and it's crazy to think about it, but Arkansas, they had to abandon the run against A&M. They're averaging nearly 5 yards a carry against that good of a defense, especially that front four. Raleigh Williams was averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. You know, so that's impressive. I think they can find ways. Now, obviously, when they play Alabama, that's almost like the exception to the rule. It doesn't matter how good you run the ball. Arkansas has always had trouble finding success on the ground. So we'll see what they got to do against Alabama. But outside that game, I feel like this year they're not going to have any issues running the football, especially with Austin Allen. If he continues to throw the ball like he has, the run game's going to do just fine. And Raleigh Williams is definitely going to run. Again, if he stays healthy and Austin Allen continues to throw this way, he should easily run for over 1,000 yards. I think going into next season, I know that's way down the line, he could be one of those guys they're talking about as an all-SEC, caliber running back. I think he is. He's proven that so far. So that's a positive. Another one I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the positive category, and that's the secondary. Ryan Pooley, Collins, Liddell, these guys are playing much better. Now, I don't know that I would mention Liddell too much. But he has made some plays, and he's made some tackles, and he's swatted the ball down a couple of times and competed for jump balls and things like that. They're playing better in the secondary, enough so that I'm putting them in the positive category. Again, if you look at, they're holding quarterbacks to their lower pass completion percentages and everything. They're worst of the season so far. I think Kenny Hill's worst performance was against Arkansas, and I think as far as throwing the ball, Knight's worst performance was against Arkansas. You got to give Arkansas's defense credit, their secondary especially. They weren't getting a whole lot of pressure on Knight or Kenny Hill, and yet the secondary was still making plays. So I'd throw them in the positive category. They've looked really good. Another positive, and this is why I think they could still win 8 or 9 games. They're receivers. They're stretching out. They're making plays. Cody Hollister is actually starting to contribute some. Their receivers are playing lights out, and Jeremy Sprinkle's a part of that as well. So, they're performing where they need to in the pass game, and you got to give credit on both ends. The quarterback and the receivers are actually making plays for their quarterback. They did it last year for Brandon, and they're doing it this year for Austin. So, those are your pluses and minuses, I feel like, so far in the year. So Alcorn State and Little Rock, if I ever gave a score, I don't, 45-10. I don't know what, it could be a blowout, could be close. Could be that kind of trap game where Arkansas's obviously looking towards Alabama, but I feel pretty good about this one. And then we'll get into the Alabama prep. We'll talk Alabama next week. I'm pretty excited about that one. Razorbacks should be 4-1. They could possibly get game day, last I heard, although probably not. I don't have much to say about the Tennessee-Georgia game outside of we'll just see. Tennessee still hasn't impressed me. They are playing better football, though. That's what matters. Tennessee is playing much better football, but I want to see them beat somebody good. And I think the only team they have left on their schedule that's actually good is Alabama. I may need to take another look. They played Florida, who was without their quarterback, and they're going to play Georgia if all they really need to do there is slow down Nick Chubb, and I feel like they could even win this one by double digits. Georgia has just gone down for me. Ever since they played Mizzou, they just have not looked that great. And Tennessee's trending up, so they're playing a little bit better football. I would definitely pick Tennessee to win that game, and still picking them to win the East now. I believe now they will win the East. So Texas A&M and Alabama, I think, will compete for the SEC West. I wouldn't count Arkansas completely out, but again, we'll see in the coming weeks. So, all right, that's it for me, guys. Try like hell to be kind to one another. Till the next video. Peace.